In this video, we're still talking about trademark rights, like the trademarks worn by Michigan's great athletic teams, including the national runner-up Michigan basketball team that practices here in the new Player Development Center. Let's talk more about picking a name for your new startup company or product or service. So besides picking a name that's actually distinctive and therefore likely to receive trademark protection, you also want to pick a name that you actually have the right to use, that's not infringing upon the trademark rights of some other third party. In order to do this, you'll typically want to end up working with a trademark attorney. But before consulting a trademark attorney and incurring some legal fees, you can perform an initial knockout trademark clearance search yourself. And to do this, you'll go through a number of steps. The first thing to do is to run a search at the United States Patent and Trademark Office trademark database. To do this, you can enter the term you want to use as a trademark and search it to see if there's other registered marks out there. Once you get your search results, you want to see if the results are live or dead. A dead mark is one that's been abandoned. It's not currently active as a registered trademark. You also want to see who the owner of the mark is and whether there's been any disclaimers filed by that owner limiting the scope of their trademark rights. After you've done this, assuming you haven't seen something that's a direct hit on your mark or something that's so close to your mark that would dissuade you from using your mark as a trademark for your company, you can broaden out your search. Perhaps drop some terms from the trademark term you're searching. Perhaps check common misspellings. But this is just the first step, because recall that others don't need to actually register their mark at the United States Patent and Trademark Office to have trademark rights. They can also have common law rights just by using their mark in commerce. So you need to see if there's other people who have used their mark in commerce. To do this, we're going to do some initial steps in our trademark clearance search. Step 2 is to use a site called MarcoFi. MarcoFi is a free service that searches not only the United States Patent and Trademark Office database, but the European trademark database and some other databases around the world. It also doesn't just look for direct hits. It's smart enough to look for marks that are somewhat similar to your mark. So MarcoFi is a good way to broaden out your search even further, and it's also free. The third step in your preliminary trademark knockout clearance search is to do a Google search. Obviously, Google's also free, and this is going to search for other people that are using your term anywhere on the World Wide Web. A Google search is also a good way to see if your mark is highly descriptive and therefore unlikely to get strong trademark rights. Because if your mark's descriptive, you're probably going to get a number of search hits from people that are using this mark as ways to describe goods or services. But Google is also a good way to see if there's someone else using your mark or something confusingly similar to your mark as a trademark, and thus you should try to find another mark for your company. Step 4 is to look in the jurisdictions where you may register your company and set up your company if you haven't yet. If you're setting up a Michigan LLC or Delaware C Corp, both of these venues allow you to search to see if there's other companies that have established using your potential trademark as a name for the company. Step 5 is to make sure a domain name is available that would use your trademark as the domain name, and to search various social networks that you may want to use to promote your product or service. Make sure the Twitter handle is available. Make sure the Facebook handle is available. Quite often, because of the importance of social media and performing marketing through social media, if the Twitter or Facebook handle that you want is not available, this by itself may cause you to pick another name for your product or service. Once you've done this, you can consider using a commercial vendor of trademark searches. Thomson has a service. There's something called CorpNet. These cost money, and they're often best used in connection with a trademark attorney who knows how to use them, but these will broaden out the search to make sure there's no one else using a mark confusingly similar to your own. Once you've performed these steps, for any hits that may be close to your mark, you then need to analyze whether they're likely to cause customer confusion, or the use of your mark is likely to cause customer confusion with these existing marks. We'll talk about that analysis in the next video. But this is a general overview of how to perform an initial trademark clearance knockout search to make sure the name of your startup company or its product or service doesn't infringe upon someone else's rights with that trademark.